Welcome to the Blacklist AFTERBUZZ After Show, episode 14, season 4, The Architect. I won't say anything about testicles just yet. Let's go.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
The first thing I remember knowing was a lonesome whistle blowing.
Was this song in the episode?
Hello?
In the beginning?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Duh.
Oh, you just pulled out a duh.
Duh.com.
Duh.com.
Welcome to the Blacklist AFTERBUZZ After Show. What is this? The Architect.
The Architect.
We're here. I'm Joe Braswell. I'm joined, as always, by the lovely Julia Cearley.
I'm here. Barely made it, but I'm here.
I'm joined not, as always not,
As always, not.
by the lovely Joe Sanfilippo, whose house may or may not be underwater right now.
Yeah.
So I'll give him
We'll let this
little
one slide.
But in his stead, we have from New York City the lovely Jody Walker from EW. How are you, Jody?
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm on the top today.
Yes.
Here from the jump.
Here from the jump. We're not coming to you later in the show. Like, yeah, you're from the beginning.
Hitting the ground running.
See, can you turn her up just a tad bit for me, if that's possible? Oh, no. Jody?
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. There we are. Thank you so much. Hi, guys. Hi, guys. We're back. Sorry for our very short show last week. We have a short show this week, but not as short. I still have my jacket on.
LA is killing us this week.
Jackass, I am.
Yeah, that's a nice jacket.
All right.
Okay.
Hi, folks in the chat room. Good to see you all. I'm sorry we're late as sorry we're late. Andrew Martin and Golden Toe and Watson Keene and Anna Pahuda Sahariha.
So close. You get better every time.
I'll get there. And all you folks that are there watching live and hanging out, thank you. Lots to talk about in the old Architect episode.
Yeah.
We have TV's Brent Spiner. How do you Brent
Spiner.
Brent Spiner.
And we
Not
also
Brett
had-
Spinner.
No. Close.
Brent
Spiner.
Spiner.
Data.
TV's Data.
Also Broadway star. And Broadway star Brian Stokes Mitchell, who's like the love of my life. When I saw him come on, I was thrilled.
Oh, he was great.
He was so good in this episode. He's good.
I thought
Everything
the
he
way
touches.
came on, he just had such a character. I thought that we had met him before, but had we?
I don't
No.
think so, but hopefully we'll meet him again. I loved
Yeah.
every second that he was on screen, and my heart soared, and everything he touches turns to gold. I've said it.
It's just that stage training. The stage training. He gets on screen. He takes over.
Oh, Cole House.
I guess. So we're kind of learning some stuff here about,
P.S. I love this episode.
Did you really?
Yeah, I thought it was really fun.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot too.
Well,
Yeah.
what's not to like about my boy Aram going undercover with
Totally.
this cool, what is it, orange beanie? What was
Quite
he
yellow.
rocking?
That was
Yellow?
quite yellow.
The yellow
The
beanie?
yellow-
Is that
Yes.
this yellow hacker beanie?
Bordering on mustard.
Yellow hacker beanie.
I mean, it's...
Lizzie has her blogger hoodie, and
Yes.
Ron
Yep.
has his yellow hacker beanie.
Oh,
There are a lot of beanies in that hacker convention. I guess that's just like the normal garb.
Well, Julia, have you been to many hacker conventions?
Not
blogger,
yet. I haven't been invited quite yet. I'm still learning how to drop a
blogger
pin.
hoodie and hacker beanie. I think they're playing at Coachella this year. That's my big joke. All right. The hacker convention, I mean, I don't know. Like, the one thing I know probably doesn't happen at the hacker convention, at a real one, is a guy doesn't get on the mic and say something like, "Get your hack on." What do you say?
I don't know.
Wasn't it something like that?
It
Like,
was pretty awful.
that part is, get your
There
hack
was
on.
definitely a hacking DJ who was, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. I don't
Speaking
know.
of hacking, I'm apologizing ahead
No.
of time for all the hacking that I will be doing during this show.
That's right.
I'm
Because
sorry.
Julia is sick.
But I'm loaded with
Whiskey.
cough drops. Unfortunately, not whiskey.
So we're still marching forward towards Blacklist redemption, I assume.
Very much so.
We touched on this last week a little bit, how we're now starting to understand and get a better picture of how Tom is going to now make this transition over. It seems Lizzie is 1,000% on board with whatever Tom wants to do.
Very supportive.
Yeah, like, hey, you gotta kill some people, do it. You gotta find some people, do it. Like,
She's offering
she's
all the
helping
resources
them,
as well.
offering resources in the middle of cases. Like, hi, honey, What's going on? You know, I gotta go.
Aram's kidnapped, but let me see what I can pull for you real
yeah,
fast.
I think that's cool. And
That's love.
I have a sneaky suspicion, and I want to, Jody, if you think this is something, I have a sneaky suspicion that the same person who was responsible for killing the fake Tom is the same person who is impersonating Red, is trying to kill Red.
I have a theory on who's doing this, who's behind the whole Red thing.
Oh,
I have a theory.
okay. Are we gonna jump to that? Let's hear it.
The one who infiltrated his account and is doing this? I think it's Mr. Kaplan.
Oh, I thought that too, but she's not trying to kill him, is he?
Well, she's not
Is she?
necessarily trying to kill him. She's trying to dismantle his empire.
Oh, but you think Mr. Kaplan's going for revenge?
He shot her in the freaking face and left her to die.
Business.
Well, that does seem to be, I think, the most widely believed theory is that it's Mr. Kaplan, and I
I'm so
definitely
proud of
think
myself.
that's the direction that the show is trying to face you, because it's someone with so much access to Red to be able to get into his super secret bank accounts.
Right.
But I also have a little trouble believing. Yet she didn't seem so vengeful when she left that creepy man's cabin. But
No.
who
But
knows
maybe
what her
it's a
journey has been
quiet
since then? We
venge.
haven't seen her in years.
Yeah,
It's been forever.
I think it's a little too on the nose for it to be Mr. Kaplan.
No!
It's a little on the nose.
No!
What
You
is
are
she?
not alone in this theory, Julia.
Oh, it just came to me when I sat down, too. I thought I was so clever.
It's a cough medicine.
I'm on a lot of cold medicine.
No, I don't. No, I get that could be possible, but I think it's a little on the nose. But I think whoever it is, this is where the connection is. Like whoever this
I
mastermind.
think that's interesting, Joe, that there's like some puppet master that's puppeteering the other puppet masters. You know, that there's this even higher overarching person that would be kind of controlling Red and controlling Tom's parents in some way.
Right, like the person pulling the strings is not the person pulling the strings. It's I don't know. It's like a weird being John Malkovich kind of.
Okay. All right.
I don't know.
We'll unpack it.
But let's talk about this episode. So we have this interesting thing. We're starting to see Harold. We saw a little bit of this last week, but Harold was not happy with Red and really sort of short with Red and getting really curt and angry and really just calling him out, and the fact that these Red is clearly using the resources of the federal government and the FBI to do his bidding, but Harold thought this was a bargain worth doing because of all the evil that he was taking off the streets, but that he's kind of sick of it, so he's really pushing Red. And I thought, and that has changed at the top of this, which was basically, give me something now, and he threw him a Blacklister. That's interesting. I don't know where this relationship was going. Harold, Red hinted at something. He said something like, "Why are you so interested in pleasing the powers that be, the Justice Department now?"
Oh, he wonders why he wants to appease Main Justice.
Yeah, was that a hint at maybe Harold's
was
looking for higher office or something, or is that just has to do with his daughter? I don't know.
I don't know.
What did you read into that, Jody? What did you think that was about?
I mean, I thought that was an interesting aside too, and I noted it somewhere in my recap because he does, Harold mentions Main Justice in a way that he never has before, and I also thought that this episode finally felt like Cooper's annoyance with Red always going over his head or behind his back. It finally felt like it meant something. I was really kind of coming to the edge of my rope with that constant, just about every episode. At the end, they realized that Red had some ulterior motive all along, and they're so annoyed or they're so upset. It's kind of just like a quick little ooh, can't believe he did this again. It's like, really? You can't believe it? Because he does it every time.
88 episodes in.
Yeah.
What? He has an ulterior motive.
As much as I'm fed up with it, it seems like maybe Cooper is well and truly fed up with it, and maybe there is a deeper reason. And that daughter stuff just kind of coming out of nowhere. Like there's something going on with Cooper, and I always like when there's something going on with Cooper.
Yeah, I like when I always love when they give Cooper more to do because I think he's.
It seems to have come to a head with Wrestler as well, as we saw in last week's episode when Wrestler was so upset. He said he might as well be paying our paycheck or signing our paychecks.
Yeah,
and he was upset that he's given up so much to work for Red, basically. Right. And I think that's coming to a head for Cooper as well.
Yeah, and we touched on this last week, but all seems to be headed towards some sort of real crisis for Red, as Dimbe's been warning. He's worried about sort of, his detachment, if it will, or his ability, his seeming to put himself in more and more danger each year, each month, each day, and the people around him not really caring about him, or not seeming to not have anything to care about. And at the end of this episode, that face-off with Cooper, like, that was exactly what Cooper was saying. Like, you don't know what that's like. The reason why you're so alone. What did he say?
He said you can't understand where your selfishness ends and others' lives begin.
Boom, Flippo.
Yeah, there it is.
You hear that,
And
Flippo?
then he said, I'm going to be with the people who love me.
Uh-huh.
Way harsh.
Ooh,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Red's getting to a point where he really has no one.
right. So I think.
But he has enough people around him to point it out to him that he has no one. That's
Right.
a tough place to be.
Right.
Oh, poor Red.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. So I want to get. So they give. Red gives him the architect, which is a person which is kind of, I don't know, for a
I think we've
Blacklister,
seen it before.
like his thing is he plans crimes to perfection.
Plans and constructs and executes for a price.
Well,
I know.
the Blacklist is getting a little thin down there in 10. I mean, it's getting a little thin. I don't
Yeah.
know. But maybe that's why he's 104. Is that what he was?
107.
107?
But it was kind of a throwaway Blacklister anyway. Like, there was no ulterior motive.
Yeah.
He was under Cooper's thumb to give him a Blacklister. Goes, the architect.
Yeah, I don't know.
How
Like,
about that guy?
Yeah, it almost seems like he was making it up when he said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got one for you. How about the architect?
Yeah. I
He's-
like it. It sounds good.
He's 107, and also like I don't know with the Blacklisters for me. Sometimes I don't know if I like them when they're sort of Bond villainy kind of caricatures, or if I don't like it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But with the tattoo, with the what was that, a compass or whatever?
I don't know what that was.
I don't know what those. It's the thingy, the architect thingy behind his neck.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
the like
a compass.
drawing.
It's a compass, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I thought that was I don't know.
No. But it was Brian
compass.
Spiner, so I enjoy
Well, I
that.
will say that I think it depends a lot less on the Blacklister and a lot more what's going on around them and how the rest of the episode is constructed, because I really did not enjoy last week as much as I usually enjoy like a fun, fast-paced episode of The Blacklist.
Right.
And I think it's because they tried to pile a lot more character onto Isabella Stone as a Blacklister than she earned throughout the rest of the episode. She
Right.
was
Sure.
given this motive that didn't totally make sense and that continued to not really make sense into this episode. And if that's going to be the case, then I would rather have sort of like a blank slate of a Blacklister that then gives the post office a lot of room to shine. And I think that's why I enjoyed this episode a lot, because not only Aram, but we got to kind of see like Samar and Wrestler doing their jobs, and we got to see the stuff between Cooper and Red, and then Tom got a little room to grow because the Blacklister was, interesting, but just kind of a worker, just kind
Absolutely.
of a criminal.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely. Well put.
Well put.
I concur.
I concur wholeheartedly.
You're smart, Jimmy.
Speaking of, what's her face? Oh, speaking of, oh God, I forgot her name.
What did you say?
The Blacklister last week.
Isabella Stone.
Isabella Stone. I incorrectly, like an idiot, called her Jean Smart, which is she's so not Jean Smart. Yeah, I thought it was Jean Smart, like in my memory, like somehow, but it was actually Melora. Is it her pronounce her name? Melora Hardin from The Office. Yes, you said.
The Office, I guess.
Yeah, Malort.
Yeah,
She's hysterical.
she's great. She's the best. And I don't know what. And Jean Smart's on Legend, and Jean Smart's probably a lot older.
I
So
don't know who I have to look up Jean Smart. I can't place her face.
anyway, well, she doesn't look like Melora Hardin. I'll tell you that much. Anyway, so correction from last week. So yeah, so the architect comes up. We figure out that the what he's probably going to do next is recruit a hacker of some sort. And we get this really cool thing where Aram is like sort of going through and figuring out.
I do like a good scavenger hunt.
It's a good
Yeah.
scavenger hunt. Yes.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, I just think that
I especially like a scavenger hunt that Lizzie and Wrestler are on
Yeah.
and totally out of their depth, but that like Aram is controlling from the post office.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that was fun.
that is good. And
I
everything,
did too.
everything they found, Aram's like, of course. Yeah.
He's so good.
He had such glee with everything he found until it was time for him to guess what, Aram, you gotta go.
It's gotta be you, bro.
That was very sitcom-y. Like that whole scene's like, it would have to be someone who knows intimately the whole thing. Who could that be? I can almost hear the music. Womp, womp, womp. And they all look at Aram. There it is.
Oh, there
Thank
it
you.
is. Perfect.
No, not me.
It couldn't possibly be me, guys.
He did get off some good lines about, shouting out his safe word like a baby whose diaper's changed. Is that right?
Something like that. Yeah, it was pretty hysterical.
Amir, it's a good Aram episode,
Good
right?
Aram episode.
So,
He had a lot to do.
So they get him undercover. He goes and sort of puts himself out there. He gets kidnapped into the white van and goes to Hacker Convention. Hackerville. Now, when we
Black Mass 13.
talk to like Amir all the time in real life, I talk to him about how I'm so glad they don't do a lot of the sort of the cheesier hacker, TV hacker, movie hacker tropes. And he's like, well, we work really hard, and to make sure that we don't, the tech guys are this and everything's that. And I think they've been spot on with that, except for this goddamn episode.
I thought it was funny.
It's fun.
What was that movie in the 80s with Savage? And he was the video game convention?
Oh, God, I don't know. Fred Savage?
The Wizard.
The Wizard.
Yes, that reminded me so much of The Wizard. No, just me?
Yeah, I don't know. I never saw The Wizard. Jody, you know The Wizard? Fred Savage?
No.
Yeah.
No, so sorry. I know Fred Savage.
Yeah.
Maybe I've got some watching to do this weekend.
It's a great 80s classic.
I know
it's really awful.
I know Cloak and Dagger. You know that one? I know War Games. Those are 80s.
I know War Games.
All right.
There we go.
The Net, Sandra Bullock.
Oh, yeah, that's 90s.
Hackers.
Angelina?
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
there we go.
Swordfish. Don't get me started on my hacker movies.
Uh-oh. It looks like we did.
That was what I thought of. I think that's where
That's where you get on the train? Swordfish?
Yeah. Yeah, swordfish.
Yeah.
But listen, I mean, I knew that was like pretty dumb what was going on, but I still thought it was fun.
Yeah, I
was
found it to be like popcorny enjoyable.
But at the hacker convention, at Hackerpalooza or like a Hackchella or whatever you want to call it, who does he run into? But good old Elise.
Good old Elise.
Yeah.
Looking fine as always.
She's got the glasses and the brown hair, but
looking good.
Yeah, I did not recognize her at all. It took me, those glasses were just so damn chunky. I really felt like I could her face.
I agree.
But I got around to it.
It took me a minute to realize until he had to say the line about like what we did when the lights went out or whatever. I'm like, oh, that's her. Yeah. Poor Aram.
Poor Aram.
And so
I did love the constant reference to Samara's his girlfriend.
Yeah. Your girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
And Samara's very, very much like that bitch.
Oh, that was a great moment.
Totally...
That bitch. Hi, Samar. I liked how like smirky and kind of like, annoying Elise was in her true persona, because she was so this like sweet little, this like sweet blonde when she was dating Aram, because maybe that's what he would go for. But he's, she was this like, just kind of rubbing it in his face a little bit.
Yeah.
I like that too.
And do we think for 1 second when she's like, "You're on your own. I'm getting out of here," that she was going to leave him there? No, right? She
did.
But no, she didn't leave him there. I mean that she would not help him later is what I thought. Like, she helped him, right?
How did he get her glasses? I was a little confused. They were on the ground.
Over that a little bit in the recap.
They were on the ground next to the dead guy, the dead like DJ guy.
Oh, I thought she gave them to her.
No, I don't remember that happening.
No,
I was confused.
When the DJ guy it seemed like when the DJ was shot that they fell off of him, and I thought like, oh, maybe he's in SA too, and he also had these glasses.
That's a leap. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought,
Right.
and it didn't play out because he still had his glasses on. I don't know why they were there on the ground, except maybe she left them there.
She planted them for that.
Maybe. I don't know. It just seemed a little.
I don't know.
Strange.
That was a hole for me.
Is the DJ playing all pirated music? Is he stuff that he illegally downloaded? Is that what the DJ does at Hackfest? Anyway, I'm wondering.
What?
I don't know. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the Hackapalooza.
You love hackers.
Okay, so the architect busted up, shoots up the place. gets everyone working at the same time to take down a power grid.
U.S. power grid, yeah.
U.S. power grid, not before he takes out the head of actually, let's get the right name.
Black Mass 13.
Black Mass 13, exactly. Where he takes the head out of Black Mass 13. And I just, the thing I didn't quite understand, which is just obviously the suspension of disbelief, is, the architect could have killed Aram like 4 times.
But it needed him.
That's okay. Well, but even when Aram's like, I'm not going to help you, you'll just have to kill me. And then the wrestler of the gang busted in, by the way. And then that saved him. And then, but he was never going to kill him the whole time because he needed him. The whole time. Okay, got it. All right, I'm sorry, I'm just catching up.
That's okay. That's fine.
Just catching up
Can
here.
we talk about the puniest little grenade of all time?
Yes.
What was that? It was like a cheesy magician's poof.
Yeah, I heard them say grenade, and then the episode kept moving, and I was like, did it explode? I guess it didn't explode, and then I had to rewind it. It was like a little magician's poof.
Yeah, it was like a magician, and then one guy goes flying over the table.
And then they're out.
And then
misdirection.
just Samar and Wrestler just standing there.
Just a bit of
and
misdirection.
Rob's gone
Yeah. He just,
into the ether.
yeah, that's also a little.
It was the lamest, puniest grenade ever.
Oh, it's the architect. I don't know.
I don't know.
So the whole thing. Explain this to me now. So the whole thing was to break out this super Aryan head of Aryan Nation guy.
Yeah,
from
Ronnie Perkins.
Yeah, to break him out on the day he's going to get got.
Yeah.
And we're presuming that someone hired the architect to do this, right?
Yeah. Well, they're assuming that the Aryan Nation that he
Aryan
ran,
Nation they hired him to do this
because they had the money to do that. It really had nothing to do, I don't believe, with
no connection with anything.
anything that we live with at the Blacklist.
It's just its own separate sort of
Again, it
procedural
was
deal.
Red just grasping at straws to give him a Blacklister,
Yeah.
someone to go after.
All right. What about this crazy, weird, like high-powered stainless steel super gun, bazooka gun thing?
Oh yeah,
Is that
that Mach 7 titanium rod launching?
that's, I assume, was what at the top of the show what they stole.
Yeah, another thing I had to rewind on, where I was starting to recap sort of the cold open, and then I was like, wait a second, what were they stealing? And it was those bazooka guns.
Yeah, I did, like this episode had a lot of like sort of.
Really have to work
the
for this
connective,
one.
the connective tissue in the procedural part of this episode. If you have to work for it a bit, because if you're rewinding and I have no idea what's going on, I'm misquoting and we're not doing everything. We're I don't know.
Oh, I didn't even think about it. I didn't even question where they got the bazooka.
About it, if I was just watching as a viewer, I wouldn't care. That I wouldn't ever remember that had happened in the beginning, that something had been stolen. I do think it came together a bit to all say, the architect really works for his plans. Like, he has a bunch of balls going, a bunch of plates in the air all at one time, and that was a little bit what we were seeing play out. But I agree that there were some things that were a bit of a stretch, like why he wasn't just killing Aram, like why Aram needed to be there to open the doors, why that had to be the winner of the hackathon. Like,
Yeah.
kind of like anyone who had made it to that point could do that.
Right.
And he could have just killed Aram and, grabbed another kid who was like coding at a coffee shop and just gotten him to open the doors or her to open the doors.
Got it.
But I would want Aram too, best in the biz.
Yeah, he's the best of it.
Well, yeah.
And so just to finish this thing, so they go and they do the whole thing where they get to the prison and Ram's opening doors, a la Mission Impossible 4. Is that the one where they're doing that thing? There's a very similar thing where Tom Cruise is going through prisons and the hackers opening doors. But anyway, they do that. They're blowing up towers with the big super gun, and Aram uses the glasses thingy to get a signal out so that the best two-man team and all of the government can come and and track them down, and they do.
They do.
And
They
get them
do
just
it
in
every
time.
time.
The architects
Never bring backup. Don't need backup.
never needs
no.
backup. Just the best two-man federal agents in the world. By the way, the most highly decorated these guys. The two of them have taken down so many super criminals, arrested so many super criminals, like shot so many people. Like they've got to be the most highly decorated FBI agents in history. By
You
the
would
way,
think.
the two of them, they're so effective. Anyway, so he's the architect's making his way out. and Aram says, "Not on my watch," and does a very sort of almost Dirty Harry-esque, like, make my day thing, and shoots him and blows him to bits.
Which is hard for Aram to do.
I
That
think
does not come easy to Aram.
I felt that was a little bit of redemption for Aram, who wasn't quite the manliest this whole time. Like, when he was under fire, he was a lot of like, "I'm not doing this," or "You can't do this," and I thought that he didn't really do him well. I thought they could have given him a little more. I don't know.
A little more gusto.
A little more guts.
macho-ness.
He seemed a little. I don't know.
Well, it doesn't come easy for him. And there was that episode a couple weeks back where Smar sort of says, "You sit behind a desk, but I'm out there getting shot and running around and putting my life on the line."
Right.
So it was nice to.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting. It's a definite character change. I don't think that it has anything to do with his, macho-ness or anything like that. He's just a different person. Like,
Sure.
He does a different job. And so it was a complete parallel to an episode from a while back where he was, he needed to hack it was Gaia, the environmentalist killer.
Yes.
And he was about to blow up a city, I think. And Aram couldn't, hit the button to take his plane down, and Cooper did it for him instead.
Yep.
Aram thought it was the wrong move. And he's obviously backpedaled on that and changed his mind. And I did think that was an interesting character development that felt pretty drastic, and I think will kind of have to earn itself over the next episode.
Well, did it come from him being actually in the field and experiencing it in real time, like in front of his eyes, rather than, safe in the post office behind a desk and behind a computer screen?
And Andrew Martin did remind me.
Yeah, potentially. And having been, kidnapped by that man and experiencing that man, in real life is a good point.
And Andrew Martin in the chat room reminded us and me that he did use a fire extinguisher to knock out a henchman. So, he had some action going on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
After Elise had mostly taken him down.
Yeah. I wasn't. She was. So that I thought that was kind of cool, and we got a little bit of Aram Navabi kind of little.
She
Little
loves him.
Smoochy boochy at kind of almost little at the end. Not real kisses, but they're a little. She likes them.
Smoochy boochie?
Yeah. I don't know. That's what I call flirting.
Oh. Oh.
That's
Okay.
so let's just swing on over to Tom Keen's quest to find his real.
It's kind of getting me excited for redemption.
Yeah, I mean, so he.
Yeah, I thought I did a good job tonight.
Yeah,
Really the interest.
Yeah, he's on the. He did the what was his fake name? It was very when he went to the door.
Frank something.
It was like, "Hi, I'm Frank Schmackable." What was that? What was that, Tom? Who? But yeah, he did that. Then he came back and he's like, "I lied. I'm really." I thought that whole thing was great.
Yeah, I was into that story.
The mom was very creepy. I think the story was cool. I did like the back and forth, as we mentioned earlier, between Liz and Tom. She's in the midst. They're just chatting away on the phone and they're helping each other. And I wonder if this is going to be a reoccurring theme in Blacklist Redemption, where Tom will be doing missions for Scotty and calling Liz for stuff, and who knows. But anyway, so yeah, I thought that was interesting, and we did get to the point we Tom did have the moment, as we predicted last week, where he said, "I actually do care about my dad." Yeah. We were talking about last week how he was just like the poor orphan boy, like, "I don't care about my dumb dad. I don't even care."
Yeah, that's another thing that I've found that I have been annoyed by in past episodes, much like the Cooper being frustrated with Red, that it never really feels like it means anything. It's kind of the same with Tom and his I don't care about my parents. I don't care about this, or I don't care that I'm out of the espionage field. And then he as soon as Lizzie shuts the door, he takes a gun and goes off on a secret spy mission. That
right.
There's been a lot of that with him, and this one finally feels. I think that it has done its job in some ways. Him being very hesitant to find out more about his past and kind of begrudging about it, and now he can finally admit that he really does want to know about it because he truly wants to know about it. Has made me feel a little bit like, oh yeah, maybe I want to know about it too.
Yeah,
they've done a good job there.
Yeah, I agree. So again, it makes us makes me wanting and waiting for a redemption.
2-hour event next week.
Very excited about it. So So with that thing, and then of course we have the Red, which we talked about. We want to talk about Red and his, going through his lengths to find out what's going on. This whole thing with the, his whole scene with Isabella. What's her name?
Isabella Stone.
Isabella Stone. Is it me? Did she always have the blood? Did something happen?
They were in the car accident at the end.
Okay, because I felt like
last week.
I'm like, did Red do that to her? Because I missed it the first time when they were in the ice. I didn't see the blood in her head, and then it came back from commercial and there was blood. I thought like, oh no.
Oh, but okay. I don't know.
I thought okay, but so that interrogation method worked, and that was kind of interesting to find out what happened. And he kind of it felt like he had some real good, deep psychological interrogating without actually doing anything bad to her, though he did threaten to suffocate her and before she froze.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that whole thing was effective.
Kind of a letdown for the character of Isabella Stone. I think we already touched on that a little bit. How she sort of just fell flat at the end.
Yeah, I mean, and then so then he went to go find the new the guy, the banker who's getting the super painting by
Polpetto.
Yes, exactly. I like the fact.
It's just so funny. I did love his line that I could be hanging in Pompidou if you would just get out of my house. I was like, this is genius.
That was great.
I love every second of this.
That was good stuff. Like they see the two of them again. That's a spin-off. That's the web series I want.
Oh, I'm in.
I want them as like the in-laws, like a buddy group.
They had a great back and forth, and the fact that they thought of that was like what was going to be going on with that banker when Red found him, that he was going to be having this. It was so random, and it worked so well.
It was so. Where do you come up with this stuff? I loved it.
It was good stuff. It felt very Alan Arkin, Peter Falk. It was. I liked it a lot. Hopefully, there's more of that from those guys, because at the end, he did get off the best line of the entire Blacklist series, which was what, Jody?
Back up rolling. I'll let you guys know in just a minute here.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
We'll go to New York.
Yeah, it scared the crap. Like that trip to LaGuardia scared the crap out of me, because we're basically I'm trying to get out of town, and Lola's booking flights for me, and as she's booking stuff, everything's getting canceled, and then getting to before 2,000 flights were canceled, but it was before the ground's opening up underneath us, and I was in a cab going to LaGuardia, and it was backed up all to hell with construction, and it's going nuts. People were had suitcases running it's World War Z. What's happening? And then I realized that the storm's about to hit. Everyone's trying to get on something or get out of something.
Get out of New York.
Yeah, it scared the crap out of me. I was like, oh no, we are going to die.
Where are you from originally, Jody?
I grew up in Texas, but my family's from South Carolina, Georgia area.
Oh, okay.
But just very southern.
Southern. We're from here.
Yeah, we're both LA kids.
Y'all are both from LA.
Yeah.
We're rarities.
Oh.
All right, guys, we are back on the air.
Jody, I think I'm moving to New York soon, by the way. I'll keep you posted on that. Yeah.
We're back on the air.
Oh, hi.
Hey.
We're back on the air. Hey, we had a small power outage for those who are, if you're streaming us live, I'm sorry about that. We had a power outage here in Los Angeles for the rain. And if you're listening to this on iTunes, there was probably a little jump in there, but we're going to go right to predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Julia.
No, it's supposed to be Jody first.
I know, but I'm going to go with you.
Oh. Well, I already sort of talked that, I think Mr. Kaplan might be behind this whole, all these shenanigans, but then that was shut down. Shut down to the ground.
So, but what else do you think?
I don't know.
Evan?
No.
Okay. Do you have no thought of who's behind all the shenanigans?
No, I thought it was maybe Mr. Kaplan.
He does. It's Kaplan. I'm not shooting that down, Julia.
Okay.
Braswell is shooting me down hard.
Jody, what about you? What do you got? What's coming up? How do you think we're going to bridge to redemption? What's this all leading to?
Well, the way that it's building is really making me think that the Blacklist and the crew from the Blacklist are going to be maybe a little bit more involved in the Blacklist Redemption spinoff than I originally assumed. Like you were saying earlier, maybe like some phone calls with Lizzie, some input from Red. I don't know that to be true, but it's kind of seeming like it might shake out that way. And also that the premiere of it is going to be like totally roped in with an episode of the Blacklist. Maybe they'll be a little more intertwined than I originally thought.
Do you think that it's going to be solely like based on Scotty and her company? Because the promos seem to be leaning heavily on the fact that these are 3 blacklisters. They've done a lot of bad shit, but now they're all searching for redemption. Like they're now doing good to make up for all the bad shit they've done.
Well,
what does
we also
redemption
saw last
mean?
week that Tom's daddy died, which of course he didn't die because that's a big actor that they showed. So we know he's going to come back somehow. I don't know. Maybe that was constructed, the death of his dad or the perceived death of his dad.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Thank you, folks in the chat room. Yeah, that was we had a power outage here. That's they're asking about. The producer came in with a remote. What happened? Yeah. We had a giant power outage here, and we're back online now. That's all I got. I don't know. Next week is a finale.
Winter finale and Blacklist Redemption. So we have to figure out what we're gonna do.
We're gonna do a bunch. I think so we're also gonna cover Blacklist Redemption, I believe, as well, because we're gonna do, while Blacklist is on hiatus, we will do Blacklist Redemption, at least for the first few episodes. So look for that for all you guys listening and wondering who's gonna cover that. It'll be us.
Yours truly.
Hey, are you recapping that too? By the way, Jody.
Yes, I will be recapping Blacklist Redemption at EW.com.
Well, there you go. See,
perfect.
So we're all on the same beat.
Yep.
Well, Jody, thank you for joining us and rapping with us, and we'll definitely have you back on to talk some redemption. You know, when we get into that. And you said that already, but where can the people find you on Twitter and whatever and whatnot?
You can find me on Twitter at @BJodyWalker. And all over the internet, especially EW.com and Bolter for New York Magazine right now.
Cool.
Right. And you, Julia.
Me, Twitter, Instagram, my name, Julia Cearley, JuliaCearley.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Joe Braswell. I'm reading our folks here. I don't know if they can. Anapora Saha, Andrew Martin, and Golden Toe, and Watson Keene, and all you folks that are listening. I don't know if you heard all of our conversations. Like, I don't know if they heard everything, but they seem to maybe hear stuff. I don't know if they did.
We should have given them some better dirt.
Yeah. But it's great to have you guys. Thank you you guys are super great and super loyal. I appreciate you guys coming in every single week. Thanks, Jody. You rock, says Golden Toe. That's very sweet. Feel better, Julia.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. We'll see you guys next week and for Redemption and other stuff.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.